Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome all of y'all to Cliff Notes Live, episode 167, I think. So we're working our way right on up there. I am so happy to have y'all guys with me, following along. So many episodes some of y'all been with. Welcome to the ones that are brand new to the show. Welcome to the ones that have been with us for a while. One of who we're going to be talking to tonight. I'm so excited. It's going to be a fun night, a little special night. So I'm looking forward to it. Before we get into that, though, a big old SKD 143. Love my wife, love my kids, love reality TV, especially love reality TV fans. I'm a huge reality TV fan, if you didn't notice, and especially you guys that are out here every single Monday night, either live or watching on replay a little bit later. I'm so happy with YouTube that I've got that platform. So it's not just one time only like an Instagram live or something, and then it's gone. It's still on YouTube. So anyone who gets a little behind can come out and check it out. And I always try to attach the chat so we can see all of y'all's comments as well, because it wouldn't be the same without y'all's comments off to the side here. So thanks to all of y'all. I appreciate it. For those of you who may be new, and maybe some of y'all who've been here for a while but haven't quite gotten around to it, if you want to make sure you don't miss any of these episodes, because who knows, as we get Big Brother starting back up before long and different reality shows, we may be dropping episodes, who knows when. So if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to my channel, turning on notifications, and you know how I like those thumbs up in the real world. I certainly like them on YouTube as well. So please consider a thumbs up. They've told me that's important. So I always appreciate that. All right. With all that being said, welcome to all of y'all. You see the smile on my face. It's going to be a fun night. Before we, excuse me, before we get too far into that, let me just go out here and see who may be hanging out this evening. Terry Thomas, right off the bat. Yeah, we're going to talk about my background here a little bit. Kennedy Franklin, Urban Hermit, and I'm going to talk about your question a little bit later. Marilyn Sutherland, Brian Hostetler, Karen Loveland, Cyndi Hyer. Cyndi, I got to say, I'm pretty happy that you're out here this evening. It could be a quick show without your participation this evening, Cyndi. So I'm glad. I'm looking forward to it. Let's see. Who else do we have on here? Jake, the horror movie geek. Jake, how are you doing? Taylor Mangus. Excuse me. I'm cough through the whole show. Now we're not going to put up with that. Paula Scar as well. Ma, how are you doing, Ma? Hope school is going fantastic for you. Anuez 1919, Mike Johnson, Karen Hummer, Noah Lemon, JP. I love seeing all these names out here. And Tammy Flanagan, Wyatt Garrett. Hey, Wyatt. Deborah Nail, Karen Loveland. We're going to talk a little ice cream here in a second. Karen, and let's see, Anna Martins. And I think that's about it. And if I missed any of y'all, apologize for it. Tim Cox. Tim, I wasn't going to miss you. Ann didn't want to miss you either. And Janet Jackson. Janet Johnson, one of my biggest competitors. Gotta get my tongue going right here. One of my biggest supporters, Janet. I see you on YouTube comments all the time. Thank you. I always appreciate the support. And my mom's out here. Hey, Mom, talking about a big supporter. Yeah, everyone has their mom supporting them. Thank you, Mom. Welcome. I think my mom may be out here tonight, not so much because I'm on the show, but because someone else is on the show. Yeah, for those of you who didn't see the teaser last week, I don't know, it was a teaser we talked about, but I mentioned on my little teaser for the show itself tonight as well. We've got a special guest on tonight, Cyndi Hyer. Cyndi has been participating in this show, watching this show forever. Good friend of mine. We got to talk before. I was all right. Well, I don't want to steal thunder. We'll talk about it later. But yeah, Cyndi and I have talked before in a Zoom call. Cindy's got all kinds of exposure to reality. Cindy's done a lot of cool things. So with all of that combined, and the fact that Cyndi had a birthday, not tonight, last Monday, but we didn't want to interfere with blowing out candles and things like that. So we pushed it back a week. But it is kind of a belated birthday greeting as well. So we're going to have Cyndi on this evening. Cyndi, I sent you a link, and hopefully that's out there. When you get a chance, come on in here and we'll drag you in. And until then, y'all know me. I will talk away. Terry Thomas is saying, I see you have the rodeo background. Yes, indeed, I do. And the reason I do is because starting tomorrow, But here in Houston, starting tomorrow for the next 2.5 weeks or so, Rodeo Houston. It's kind of a legacy. Yeah, you live in Texas. Our background culture is all about the cowboys and everything. Rodeo is one of my favorite times of the year. Big Brother and rodeo, very different situations, but yeah, rodeo starting out. They play do the rodeo in NRG Stadium where the Houston Texans play. So, 70,000 people show up for these rodeos. Blake Shelton is there Tuesday night, tomorrow night. I've seen him in concert before. Who else have I seen in concert at the rodeo? I've seen a lot. Hank Williams Jr. Did we see the Highwaymen once? Alabama. Also saw some kind of a unique acts there. The Black Eyed Peas, Barry Manilow, Shania Twain, Taylor Swift. Yeah, I was a Swiftie before anyone else knew what the term meant. We saw Taylor Swift when she was first starting out at the rodeo. Now, she was popular even back then, but we got the tickets. We got in. We saw the show. I've seen George Strait a few times there. So big name acts that show up. But you also have the rodeo itself. And I don't know how many of y'all out there have seen the rodeo, a rodeo performance. You've got horse riding, bull riding, calf roping, a lot of different things that they do at the rodeo. There, Cyndi. All right, Cyndi, hold on a second. I'll drag you. I'm sure glad to see you pop in there. But here's two things. I'll do this and we'll drag Cyndi. Well, there's two things that they do at the Houston Rodeo that is so much fun. One is called mutton busting. Mutton is another word for lamb or sheep. They take sheep, they put 6-year-old kids on the back of the sheep. They wear helmets, but they put them on the back of the sheep, tell them to hold on to that wool as hard as they can, and they let them go. And the idea is just to see how long the kids can hold on before they eventually fall off into the dirt. The sheep are only a couple of feet high, so that kids don't have that far to fall. But they do that. For any of you who went out and saw my Instagram post about tonight's show, you'll see me maybe superimposed on a mutton buster. So that was a lot of fun. My kids both did it. Kelly and Daniel, when they were 5 or 6 around there, we did mutton busting for both of them. Not sure either one of them thought that was the greatest thing in the world at the time. They enjoyed hanging on to the sheep. Did enjoy falling off the sheep so much, but they have mutton busting, which is a lot of fun. The other thing they do is they have what's called the calf scramble, where they take 25 calves. Calves are still big. 25 calves, 50 high school kids that are in 4-H or FFA. They put the kids in the middle of the arena. They let the calves go. All the kids have a halter. They run around. If they can catch one of those calves, drag it into a square in the center, they win that calf, or at least they win $1,000 to purchase their own calf. So half the kids get it, half of them don't. These kids are chasing these calves everywhere. They're holding on to their tails. They're getting run over by them. It's just all kinds of pandemonium in there. And it's a big deal for these kids because a lot of them wouldn't be able to afford to raise livestock if it wasn't for this. So it's always a lot of fun watching the calf scramble. Yeah, and Brian's saying, similar to your BB experience with the sheep, let's just talk about it. I'm glad you brought that up, Brian. For those of you who don't remember, we did have a veto competition, and it was the week that Nick was going to go home. It was right after, I think Holly had won HOH. Is right after my HOH. Holly had won. We had a veto competition that involved chasing sheep into different pens. And I thought, God, I've got this. I truly have it. Now, I didn't think I needed it. I felt like I was safe that week. But I thought, surely I can chase these sheep into these pens. The problem was I had just hurt my calf muscle. And every time I tried to pivot on that leg, it killed me. It was tough. But I did all right. For those of you who are watching at home, what you didn't see was I got yelled at because they said that I grabbed hold of the sheep on the sides, which I thought was legit. But they said, you can't grab them on the sides because that could be harmful or whatever. It wasn't harmful. But anyway, they made me let go of one sheep that would have won my first round. So I didn't win the veto. Those were fast sheep. And here's the most embarrassing part. And I don't think they showed this maybe on the episode either. But after the competition was over, these sheep were still running everywhere in the backyard of the Big Brother house. And they had to get them out somehow. This old farmer who handled all these sheep had one dog, just one dog. And he let that dog go into this yard. That dog, in a span of about 5 seconds, had every one of these sheep chased out into the pens outside the yard where they kept all the sheep. wonder if that pin's always there. I doubt it, but this dog showed all of us up. But yeah, I do remember that. I never did the calf scramble. My brother did. Actually, two brothers did. My brother Robert did it, and he actually captured a calf and won money to buy his own calf. My brother Bowie, the one who was on The Apprentice, didn't win one. So we were 50-50 on that. So a lot of fun. The Houston Rodeo. Always enjoyed every single year. So yeah, there's that. All right. With that being said, I waited too long. I'm so excited about tonight. I'm so glad that Cyndi's volunteered to be a little bit of a guinea pig for me this evening because we tried it a few weeks back, but we brought on a lot of people. Tonight, it's just a one-on-one, and then all the comments as well. So without further ado,
hey guys. Hey Cliff.
Oh, and I can hear you and everything. I always worry every time I try to do something new that the volume or the video or something's not going to work. It's all working. I'm feeling better already. How are you doing, Cyndi? Happy belated birthday.
I'm great. Thanks for having me. It's an honor. I mean, I'm a little nervous.
No, you know me. I'll talk as long as I can. I got all kinds of things I want to ask you about.
Well, I know. Go ahead. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, for those of you who may not know, you had won a Zoom call with me. I think it was a charity for Give Kids the World. And if I recall, it was maybe supposed to be 15 minutes or so. And I think we ended up talking for about an hour or so.
I think it was an hour and a half, actually.
All right. Well, there you go.
We probably would have talked longer if it wasn't for you had to go eat. I had to go eat. And yeah.
The more I have conversations, the more I realize why maybe the Big Brother casting put me on that show. Because I do tend to talk, sometimes a little louder than I need to. But now I really enjoyed the conversation. You've got a lot of different background and stories and everything else. And I know some horror movies and things like that. So we can get into that. But also, we got to talk about Julie Chen. You've
yeah,
you were a lot more than I have, right?
Well, yeah, but it was literally 15 minutes. I mean, because they had, for those of you who don't know, Julie Chen came out with a book, an audio book called But First God. It was her spiritual journey to find God. And Simon & Schuster, the publishers, had a contest for anybody who pre-ordered it. And so I was actually a runner-up winner.
Wow.
And so I won an HOH robe. I won a hoodie from her faith-based company. It's like Faith Creation Company or something like that. A tote bag from that same company, the keychain, and then the 15-minute Zoom call.
That I didn't realize that you won it. I thought you would bid on a signed book or something like that, but you just won.
No, I won it.
Wow.
I was surprised that,
I can't imagine. And so did they just send you a text or something? Or
they sent me an email. And I was like, at first I was like, what? Really? What? Wait? And it's funny because I'm also a fan of Jag, Oh, yeah. And I'm part of his Discord channel, the Jaggernauts. And he had a voice chat on there one night, and I told him about it, and he's like, man, I don't even have an HOH robe.
I know. I'm feeling guilty. I'm feeling jealous here. I can't believe it. If we won HOH, they didn't give us robes inside the house.
I know. I'm surprised that you guys didn't get that. That would, I
guess they're penny pinching or something, which tells me that the robes that we wore in the HOH house probably have been worn for season after season. Who knows what people had worn that robe that I was wearing. So what color robe did you get? Did they send to you?
Mine is brown. It's like a tan color. And then it has like the dark letters HOH on the back. Okay. And then
mine, if I recall, was a dark brown. I think I got the
lapel. Yeah, this is like a light brown.
I'm jealous of you.
Brown letters. Yeah. Well, my daughter, she's jealous too. And I told Julie, my oldest daughter has actually auditioned 3 times for Big Brother. And I told Julie, she's a huge fan and everything. And so the other part of my prize that wasn't really included, but this summer, Julie invited me and my daughter to be in the live audience for one of the eviction nights.
That's gonna be so
We're
cool.
guests. Yeah, so that's, got to save up my PTO so I can take some time off.
Oh,
Now,
I can't. Have you ever been out there before? I mean, to Burbank or on the soundstage or the
well,
lot?
yeah, I've never been out there, no, but it's in Burbank, is it, or is it Studio City?
Yeah, no, it's in Burbank, so it's
Okay.
north of LA or whatever. But
Yeah, I've been to LA lots of times. It's just, because I'm from California originally.
I didn't know that.
Northern Cal. I was born in San Fran.
Oh, okay.
Grew up in the Bay Area in the Central Valley.
So you're going to get to show up. I remember before I was ever on the show, I showed up. I think it was the summer before. I had some work up in Bakersfield. And so being the fan I was, the show was going on. So I showed up. I took pictures from across kind of the concrete river there, just like a whole lot of other people have done. But I took pictures there. I remember seeing the security booth and thinking, oh, what would it be like if they would let me in? But yeah, of course, they're not going to let me in. And who would have thought a year later that they're driving me through in a car and just passing me
in there, yeah.
And now here you are. You're going to show up. You're going to show your Willy Wonka golden ticket and get right into the studio and get to sit there and I see it all. I'm so happy that they've got studio audiences back, first of all.
Yeah, and we get to meet Julie also.
That's pretty cool. Wow.
Yeah. So I'm hoping she'll take a picture with us.
So it's going to be you and your daughter that both get to go out there.
My daughter, yeah.
That's pretty. Yeah, one of these days I'm going to get out there and try to do that as well. I'd love to just be there. One, to be from the audience side and all that, but also just support whoever's in the house and all that. So
yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to have to hear some stories about all the goings on before and after and during that maybe we don't see on the camera.
Yeah. I'll as long as I don't have to sign a waiver.
If you do, they're going to own your soul.
I know.
I know. But I had to sign everything. But what are you going to do? I mean, they say, Cliff, here's your 400 pages of contract. You either sign it or not go on the show. So
right.
Is it Charlie Johnson, the blues singer who sells his soul to become a guitar player? I feel like I did that with that CBS has treated me right. They've never really had issue. I don't have any problems with what was going on. But we're gonna have to get you back on and talk about that because that's going to be a lot of fun.
It will be. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm shooting for August because my daughter's birthday is in August. So the other part that she doesn't know is that Julie may give her an HOH robe too.
Oh,
that's why birthday surprise,
Wow. All right, that's pretty fun. You're gonna have a blast. I want to hear the whole background of it. Cyndi, JP is saying that he and you attended the
Chiller. Yeah, we're friends from Chiller. Yeah.
Okay, in New Jersey. He had the pleasure of meeting you a few times and all that. So
yeah. Unfortunately, I won't be making it to April because I live on the West Coast now. I'm in Seattle. But okay. I'm going to shoot for October because they do it in April and October. And October is usually more fun anyway because everybody dresses up in costume and
I've never been to any of those conventions. I actually ran into, of all places, a Buc-ee's, which is our huge convenience stores down here in Texas. I ran into a guy who was a big member of, I want to say, is Comic-Con Houston, one of those type conventions, and he had suggested I could come down and visit, and I just never got around to it. But yeah, those always look fun. I know Jake, the horror movie geek, always goes to the conventions. You've talked about some of the ones that you've been to as well.
Yeah, I'm still contemplating this coming weekend is the Emerald City Comic-Con here in Seattle. Still contemplating that because it's like $72 just to get in.
Yeah. Well, they charge a lot for some of those autographs once you get in there.
Yeah. Too, but I mean, one of the people that's there is the female doctor that was on Doctor Who.
Oh, okay. The brand new Doctor Who?
Well, she's not the brand new one. There's a couple new ones since her, but my daughter gave me a Funko Pop of her, and I was going to have her sign it. But, I'm still on the fence about going because $72 is a lot of money just to get in.
That's pretty pricey. I'll never charge for my autograph. Of course, I'm not there, but you know, I guess if you can make money doing it, go for it. But
Well, it's funny because I think I mentioned to you I've done background acting, and
yeah,
I've had a couple of times I've had people ask for my autograph.
that's really cool.
I mean,
it was so funny when I got out of the Big Brother house because we had no writing instruments. There's no writing or anything while we're in there. So
right.
for 3.5 months, no pens, no pencils, no money, no wallet, nothing. And I get out of that house, and then all of a sudden I did have people coming up wanting me to sign stuff and everything. It's like, can I really not remember how to write my name because it's been so long? It definitely takes it takes a little getting used to again. It was such a weird dichotomy being completely removed from everyone and only having those same couple of knuckleheads towards the end to talk to. And then suddenly they released us on after finale night. I'm walking around in downtown LA with my family, and there's people everywhere. And it definitely took some getting used to.
Yeah, I bet.
All right. And Nunez 1919 is saying, Cyndi, did you enjoy Julie's audiobook?
I did. In fact, I listened to it twice.
Okay.
So I did. And luckily the timing worked out because I had listened to it before we got, the Zoom call scheduled. So,
okay.
So we actually talked about I talked about the book. I asked her about her son because, she has a 14-year-old son.
Yeah.
So she mentions him in the book. And we talked about prayer and God. And the one thing I know you guys wanted to hear about was I told her, I said, they need to do a version of Big Brother with older contestants.
Yeah,
like 50 and up. I mean, I just turned 61 last week.
Yeah.
I would, if they did it, I would go for it. I don't know if I'd get on, but I would try.
You never know.
Yeah.
So
only if you go with me, Cliff.
We'd be such a tight ally. They'd boot one or the other of us right off the bat because they'd know better to keep us around together.
Right.
Is Big Brother your show, or is it a lot of different reality TV that you watch?
I think I started with Big Brother, but I also watched The Circle.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm watching Traitors. I've watched both seasons of Traitors so far. It's it's getting good. I mean,
I decided after this last episode,
but I just can't believe there's. Yeah, I can't. I've got to hold back because I know we don't want to do spoilers.
Well, I said last week though that from that point on we can cover spoilers. I feel like everyone's caught up since they're only releasing one episode a night.
We know they're down to one traitor.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, two because they brought in a traitor.
No, the last episode from Thursday that she has to either recruit the traitor or kill him, murder him. And they cut it off, so we don't even know who she's trying to bring in.
They're big on the cliffhangers on that show, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
It's funny because we spent so much time talking about my mom. I don't know if she's still out here or not. My mom had sent a thing to me and said, "Hey,
Mom."
She sent a thing saying, "What traitors am I supposed to be watching that everyone's talking about?" And I said, "Well, there's Traitors USA, but don't watch season 2 because that's what everyone's talking about." I said, "But there's also out on Peacock Traitors Australia, Traitors UK. There's a lot of, it's a little bit like The Circle. There's a lot of different countries that have the Traitor now. It's just such a great show."
Which is funny because Traitors UK, I mean, it takes place in the UK.
Yeah.
In Scotland. So why would they do two separate? I don't get that, but.
Yeah, I guess they have to have their own folks on there and everything else. But I think the Traitor UK has had no celebrity type people. I think they've all been just brand new people. So it's a little bit different.
Well, and just like The Circle takes, I've heard they moved it to Atlanta, but it takes place in England.
Yeah.
But it's the US version.
I guess it's a little bit like I was gonna say it's a little bit like Survivor, where they're all now just in Fiji, and you have all these countries do their Survivor there at the same time. In fact, Noah Lemon is saying Survivor in 2 days.
Speaking of Survivor, it's Yeah, coming up on the 27th.
28th, I think, the Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday, and I heard it's a 2-hour show, so it's going to be even longer than the 90 minutes that they did last season. The first 2 episodes, I think, are 2 hours, and then they'll go back. Are you a big Survivor fan as well?
I am. I think I started watching Survivor before Big Brother, to be honest.
I did too. I remember they both came out the same year, but Survivor, I think, came out, I don't know, maybe early in the summer. I feel like it came out first, and then Big Brother's a little bit later. And because I remember later in the fall talking to one of my brothers about the 2 shows and comparing them and all that. But I definitely started off as more of a Survivor fan than a Big Brother fan. But now that I made it on the show, I got to say my loyalty's a little bit more to Big Brother, but I love Survivor as well.
Oh yeah, Survivor is great. But and my daughter we wish we could do Amazing Race, but neither one of us drive.
Yeah, that could be a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that can drive, but not necessarily do the sticks and all of that. Now, before I forget anything else, I was going to say, as far as reality shows, tonight, I think it's at 8:30 Central, which would be 7:30 East Coast. And, well, I guess y'all start over again over on your side of the country. But they've got a Deal or No Deal, not Survivor Island. It's Deal or No Deal Island.
Right, the new one, yeah.
Which is on NBC, which I thought was interesting because Boston Rob's on there. Oh, it's the Voice is on, and then the Deal or No Deal Island. Boston Rob's on there. I wonder what CBS thinks about him abandoning the CBS network to go over and do something on NBC. I guess his contract must be out if he's doing that. But that'd be my alley. I think there may be more to it than just the Deal or No Deal TV show where you just pick a suitcase and maybe you're right, maybe you're not. But always new reality TV. So your daughter tried out for Big Brother, you said 3 times, I guess?
Yeah, last year she did the Las Vegas when they had the casting call in Las Vegas because that's where she lives.
Oh, okay. All right. One of the guys on Survivor this coming up season 46, I can't remember his name, Jelinski or something. Anyway, he's a slot machine salesman from Las Vegas, which I thought was kind of interesting. I guess I never thought of a slot machine salesman, but I guess you got to have someone that sells those machines. So
well, she's one of the coaster operators at the Big Apple coaster in New York.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So anytime I go see her, I get to ride the coaster free.
Yeah, I think. Now, is that one of the coasters that's way up high, or it's a more Coney Island type?
No, it goes up high. And I mean, the outside of the New York is like the skyline of New York City.
Okay, all right.
They actually have a fake Statue of Liberty there and everything. And it goes. It's on the outside. No, she said it used to run through the casino, but they changed it, so it's only on the outside.
Okay,
it's kind of high up.
That's cool. I love roller coasters. I gotta say I loved them a little bit more when I was younger than maybe now. I'm not a huge fan of the really tall heights. So they've got one coaster on the stratosphere or whatever over there.
Yeah, I won't do that one. I
don't think I can do that. I know how to drive a car. I know how to drive a stick shift. But if the Amazing Race puts me on and they got me on the side of a tall building or something, I'm gonna have to be kind of keeping my eyes closed. Perhaps that's my cold temperatures and heights are the 2 things that I'm not a real big fan of.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about cold temperatures either.
Yeah, well, you're up in Seattle. You better be more used to them than I am down here in Texas.
Well, but New York in the winter gets colder.
Yeah,
New York and New Jersey. I moved here from New Jersey. So
I gotta say, our temps down here in the summer are a little warm, but I don't feel too jealous of the New York folks when I see all the snow banks and all of that here over the past few weeks.
I hear your temperatures are pretty warm right now. I just got a text from a friend in Austin. She said it's like 80 degrees down there today.
79, 80 degrees here in Houston. Of course, next week it'll be back in the 50s, but
right.
Yeah, we had our 1 week of spring. Now it's straight up summertime. Ma pointed out, said Survivor came out May of 2000, Big Brother came out July of 2000. So
okay, thank you, Ma.
Yes, thank you, Ma. But now the first season of Big Brother, isn't the Big Brother that we know and love now. That one was the American public voted out every week who went home. And I guess they quickly discovered that we were too nice as the American public because we voted out all the people creating the chaos and the drama and kept the friendly ones. And so at the end of that Big Brother, it was all the nice people left. You got to have a villain on the show or it gets really boring. So they lost them all.
Yeah, people like Dr. Will. I couldn't believe he was on Traitors.
I know it. He didn't do that much. He was in and out pretty quick.
Evil enough, man. Like, wow.
I saw him. I can't even really. I met him, but that's probably unfair to even say that. During my season, when we had the jury roundtable, he conducted our jury roundtable. So I didn't get to see him ahead of time because they brought me out. I was a surprised fourth juror or fourth, place person came out. So I didn't see him at all beforehand. And the second they finished filming, he was gone. I never even got to go shake his hand or say a word to him. But so my interactions with him were very limited. But I did get to see him once. But he certainly he found a new way to play the game back then, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
So, all right. Amanda Lowe saying, I saw Red out last week in Gatlinburg.
Oh, cool.
I can't imagine anywhere but Gatlinburg that you would see Red. That just seems like the perfect fit. I'm looking forward to.
Red and Cameron have been doing meet and greets together, but
I think it's really cool. And I'd love to meet both of them at some point in time. Guess I'm gonna have to head over to Georgia or Tennessee or somewhere to make it happen with those guys. I did when I first got out. I did a couple of meet and greets here in Houston. I went up and did one in Arlington, just outside Dallas. And Kat came over with me, and so Kat and I did a meet and greet together for that time. That was a lot of fun. We had some of that. We worked together in the house and had a blast playing the game together.
Kat was funny.
Yeah, Kat was a blast. People so underestimated Kat when I played that game. They just thought that she was kind of the ditzy girl that just didn't have a clue. She was playing a lot of people. She was most definitely playing a role, and she is smart as a whip. So, I hated that she and I were on the block together at one point in time. I just kept losing my alliance members for every other week. Seems like one of us was going home. It seems like.
Yeah.
So, all right. My mom says that in DFW, it topped out, Dallas-Fort Worth, it topped out at 94 degrees today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Wow. You're not ready for that. I spent the weekend out in our backyard trimming grape trees and cutting back stuff that froze in the winter and all that, getting it ready for summertime because I think our freezing weather is just about done down here.
Nice. Yeah. I think the high here today was like 45.
I've never really been. You said you're in Seattle, right? You said?
Yeah.
I've never really been to Seattle. I've been flown to Alaska a few times, so I had to change planes there at Seattle, Tacoma, but that doesn't really count. I never left the airport. I'd love to go out and visit the Pacific Northwest a little bit. I mean, I've heard it's a beautiful area up there. It is. It is. Never quite.
And it actually does not rain as much as people think it does.
Yeah, that's what we always hear down here. But yeah, Pacific Northwest and then the Northeast, New England states and all that. I mean, get that taken care of when I go up to New York City and all that. But yeah, I need to come out to your neck of the woods. That's so pretty. I mean, there's so many outdoors areas and everything else that I always appreciate. Karen Loveland saying, Cliff, did you say grape trees? Well, if I said trees, I didn't mean it. Grapevines. I've got grapevines. I actually grow muscadines, which are wild grapes. I've had those forever, way before I went on the show. I picked the ones out that had a whole lot of sugar in them. So we've made jellies out of them. Never had to put extra sugar or anything. They're so sweet.
Wow. Yeah.
I've had people say, oh, you need to make some muscadine wine, which sounds pretty good too, but never quite gotten around to doing that. My battle is the squirrels, because the squirrels and possums and the critters like to pick those grapes off when they're ripe. So I have to get out there and beat them to the punch sometimes. So
between your grapes and your attic, right? The squirrels in your attic.
I think we got those taken care of. Yeah, for those of you who've been watching the show, I had squirrels in the attic. That was it was a cage match battle between the squirrels in the attic and myself, and I think they still run across our roof, but I think I got them out of the house or out of the attic at least. All right, real quick, I wanted to point out since we're talking about food and all that, and I want to get your opinion on this, Cyndi. We've got, for some of you who may know, we've got a creamy that we got for Christmas. So Sharon and I have been making all kinds of ice cream and all that. Well, today is National Pistachio Day, so as part of that, over the weekend we made a couple of different ice creams. Sharon made, can you see that on there? Sharon made. Oh, it's funny. The green part just is transparent because of my green screen. But anyway, pistachio ice cream she made with a little bit of a pistachio pudding base on there. Pretty good. I love pistachios. Can't say I'm necessarily a huge fan of them in ice cream, but it's good. But I had something a little bit different in mind. So I started out with a vanilla ice cream base, to which I added crushed up flaming hot Cheetos.
Oh no.
And then after it was frozen, I then used as a mix-in, blended in together. Also added in some candied jalapenos.
Oh, geez.
So, and then when it was done, I finished up with the ice cream, got it all frozen up with all of this stuff added in, and then rolled more crushed flaming hot Cheetos on the outside of it for a little bit of a crunch effect. I got very good. Flaming hot Cheetos, maybe a little more heat than I necessarily needed, but the jalapenos, perfect on there because you get that cool ice cream, and then you get the spiciness of those little jalapeno bits that would occasionally mix in with the ice cream and all that. It was good. Now, Sharon said, I'll stick to pistachio. She had no desire to go beyond the first bite that she took.
Yeah, I'm with her on that one.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Are you more pistachio or a jalapeno kind of fan?
I will eat jalapenos in moderation.
Okay.
I'm not like super spicy fan, but I mean, I do like some spicy things.
When I was working out, when I first got out of school, I was working as a roughneck on the oil rigs out in West Texas. And I was assigned to a crew, and everyone else on the crew were Hispanics. They were guys that were originally from Mexico, still had family in Mexico and all of that. And it was so cool because I spoke some Spanish and wrote it. These guys couldn't write Spanish so well, but obviously spoke it better than I did. So during our breaks, they would take time out and I would write letters for them that they could send back home to their family. So they would tell me what to say, and then I would write it in Spanish and send it back to their family. So it's kind of a cool deal there. But they had for lunch every day these fresh, raw jalapenos that were so big. And here I am trying to show off a little bit. So I said, give me one of those. I'll try one of those. No. They gave me one of those things. They're a little bit different than the things you buy in a jar. These things were just fire. Even for me, they laughed so much because I went through so many liters of water trying to cool down after that. they kind of put me in my place with that in place. But yeah, I love spice. While I was in the Big Brother house, it was a big deal because I liked everything spicy, and everyone else in there, the New Yorkers and all that, their food is just so bland in terms of spice levels and all of that. So
yeah,
I was always putting hot sauce where I could on it and trying to ramp it up a little bit. And yeah, it was. I missed some of my spices and I still to this day don't know why I didn't ask for a Tabasco sauce or something in my HOH.
Yeah, I like Tabasco on my eggs.
Yeah, there you go. I've done that before. I like that. I like it in my clam chowder. That's my mix between New England and Texas. Clam chowder with about half Tabasco sauce. Yeah, that seems like a nice in-between between the two.
There you go.
All right, so you mentioned your daughter trying out for Big Brother. Would she ever try? And you mentioned Amazing Race, that maybe the driving wouldn't be so great between the two of y'all, which could actually make for quite the interesting episode. But would she ever try out for Survivor?
I don't think she would. She's not the outdoorsy kind of person. I mean, I would consider it. I mean, since it's really only what, if you stay the whole time, it's only 26 days.
Yeah, it's so fast nowadays. It's not like it used to. I think it used to be 42 days. Now you're right. It's like 26 or 29. And then I'm sure you've got
not even a third of the time in Big Brother house.
That was so long. I remember sitting there thinking, at first you're so excited about being in a house, you don't think about it. But around day 60 or so, I remember sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, 39 more days. That seems like such a long time. And we finally went from day number 10 to day number 9. And then suddenly it's like, oh, we're in single digits. I see the light at the end of the tunnel, and
Right.
it got a little bit better, because even though, I didn't stay, I went out on day 93, not 99, but I still was in sequester. It's not like I saw my family any earlier. It was still a long, drawn out deal. But yeah, Survivor wouldn't be too bad. I could handle 29 days. Even if you got a week of previews or press and all that, that's still not too bad.
Yeah.
Janet Johnson is saying Jeff Probst has said no more villains on Survivor. On that, what do you think about that?
No more villains.
Yeah, you got to have the villain, right?
It's no fun without the villains.
I can kind of see. I mean, you look at the past few seasons, and it seems like, did they have? It seems like maybe they focused on the quirky folks, and someone like Carolyn she definitely wasn't a villain, but she was always kind of, you never knew exactly where she was.
I loved Carolyn. I loved Carolyn, and I loved Emily.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta say, Emily, that first episode when she called out, who was that on the boat? Bruce. She called him out, and I was like, oh gosh, she's not gonna last long at all. And I can't say I was the biggest fan after episode 1, but then by the end, I was like, oh, she's got this arc. She started off as this huge underdog. Now she's starting to play the game, and I was a huge fan.
She grew on me. I mean, I felt the same way when she called out Bruce. I'm like, what are you, stupid? Like, you're crazy. You doing all that? Just shut your mouth.
It takes a while to get your footing in any of these games. I know the first week or two I was in the Big Brother house. Looking back, it's like, I didn't have a clue. I mean, I knew enough. Well, I was going to say knew enough to keep my mouth shut. I couldn't even do that. Right. But I tried to keep my mouth shut when I knew I was talking to other people. But it takes a little while to get up to speed on those games. But she figured it out. I don't know, Jeff Probst, maybe when he says no villains, he's just meaning from an edit standpoint that they aren't going to try to edit in a villain. They'll just let people run with whatever they're doing. And
but part of the fun of it is the drama.
I know. Russell Hantz. Is he the biggest villain in Survivor? I love watching.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
I loved watching Russell. It wouldn't have been the same seasons or two without him. A lot of people can't stand him, but he certainly made the show so much more exciting. So
for those of you who don't know, I'm actually visually impaired, and I have a service dog, and he's sitting here looking at me.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
He's a yellow lab.
I love me some labs.
He's 6 years old, and he's great.
So I bet he loves Seattle.
Oh, well, he loves anywhere that, he's pretty adaptable. I mean, we had a rough trip when we moved out here because it was like a long 10-hour day between traveling from New York to Seattle.
Yeah, that's a long haul between those two.
And we had like a 3-hour layover in Charlotte.
Yeah.
So it was, but he's a trooper. He made it.
Let's see. I got a few comments on my Karen Loveland said, one spring I worked in the vineyards that sold the grapes to Welch's. Oh, that's pretty cool. Tied the vines to the vines to the lines.
Oh, that's cool.
That's pretty good. Did you get to step on them and squeeze out all the juice like Lucille? Lucy Ricardo and the old Lucy Ball show.
One of my favorite episodes.
When I was on the Big Brother during my pre-show interview with Jeff Schroeder, he said, "What are you going to do if you win this money, Cliff?" And I said, "Well, I'll pay for a little bit here and there." I said, "I grow muscadine grapes. I'd love to buy me a little vineyard and all of that." And Jeff was like, "You're only getting $500,000, so you're talking about vineyards." I said, "Well, it'll be a little one." I don't think he envisioned that I was talking about just a few grapevines. He pictured me being the new Julio Gallo selling wines everywhere.
Napa Valley,
yeah, maybe not quite the level of a Napa Valley vineyard. Just enough for my own consumption would have been just fine. So let me ask you this: so you mentioned being visually impaired. Last season with Matt being hearing impaired on there, do you like the way that Big Brother handled handled him in terms of, they had like the closed captioning. They did some things that he got a little extra, make sure that he can understand what they were saying during some of the comps and all of that.
Yeah, in fact, during my conversation with Julie, she asked me who I thought, who was I rooting for, and I said, well, it's got to be between Jag and Matt.
Yeah.
And then it was.
Yeah.
We all know what happened, so.
I wasn't sure if they were going to stick together or not. I thought Jag maybe would keep Matt. I wasn't sure if Matt had the final decision, if he would have kept Jag or not, but
yeah.
I'm glad the way it worked out. Jag's a great guy.
But then Jag came back in because of Matt. So
yeah, no, he owed Matt huge. So sometimes people honor those checks, so to speak, or the IOUs and all that stuff.
Well, I know they're still friends because he talks about it. Because he does battles on TikTok.
I haven't seen him. I've seen lots of comments about that he does that and all that. I haven't quite figured out TikTok and all that. Maybe
I've been on there when he's doing it, and I try to contribute to, the little gifts that help him win and stuff. And he's always grateful to his people, and he always thanks everybody that contributed something. So I'm hoping that when my daughter and I go to LA, because he lives in LA now, so I'm hoping that maybe we could have lunch with him or something. I think
that'd be cool. I'd love to meet him. Unfortunately, because Hearts of Reality didn't happen this past December, I didn't get really a chance to meet any of the house guests from this past season.
Now, are they going to bring it back, or
we don't know? It's all up in the air, and we'll be the last to know. I think I haven't heard one way or the other. I mean, Give Kids a World, Hearts of Reality, it's all still in place. They just haven't settled on new schedules or anything else. I know at one point they did it during the summer, then they moved it into the December period, and I don't know if it's scheduling. I just don't know, but I hope they do it, because it's always been my chance to welcome the new folks into the family, be it Survivor, Big Brother players, whoever it is, just to say hi to all of them.
Yeah, my daughter and I were disappointed that they canceled it last year, because we were actually shooting for coming.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. I walk around, my jaw just dropped because I see all these people the whole time, and I would love to meet all of them. I did see on Instagram, I need to confirm, maybe some of y'all know for certain, it looks like Matt, who went to LSU, Louisiana State, he was posting that he moved into some new digs, and it looks like he may be down here in Houston. So
I think he's somewhere in Texas.
Yeah, I think he moved. I thought he was moving to Dallas, but then I saw something where it looked like he was calling out Houston. So maybe he's down here instead. And if that's the case, the next viewers watch party for Survivor or Big Brother or whatever, I'm gonna make sure that he shows up and we get a chance to discuss a little bit and see what's going on. So yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of those folks. Speaking of, Cyndi, we talked about last week getting you on this week, and by the way, happy belated birthday. I don't know if I told you directly.
Thank you.
But yeah, we talked about you this week, and then I kind of teased that next week we were going to have another special guest, someone who's in the last season of Big Brother. We had to change the schedule a little bit. It's not going to be until March 25th, but I am going to have a former house guest from Big Brother 25, and I'm going to keep it all mysterious and all that. I may tell you after the show with Cyndi, but I'm not going to tell anyone else.
Okay, well, mum's the word. I ain't going to say anything.
But we're going to have special guest March 25th. I'm really excited about that and drill into a little bit more Big Brother 25 and everything that happened. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So I'll get y'all more information as we go forward. But that's go. Now, I kind of dropped the ball, I think. You mentioned talking to Julie about the over 50 season and all of that.
And that's why she called it Golden Big Brother.
Okay.
She said like a Golden Bachelor, but I don't know if she's, I mean, she said that would be a cool idea, but I don't know if it went any farther than that with her.
Yeah, I don't know that Julie Chen has a lot of input with production and all of that. But I hope you gave her my number while you were talking about it. Bring me in as a coach. Get all these 50-year-olds out.
I did say that if she did that, I'm sure you and I would both apply.
Oh yeah, they couldn't get rid of me. That'd be a lot of fun.
It would be.
I did like the last season. We had a lot better age range for Big Brother 25. I think the average age was 32, but you had Felicia, and you had a lot of folks of all different ages in there, which I always thought was a little bit more
But
fair than.
one thing I have to say that I was not really a fan of is the fact that they brought Sari in.
Yeah,
because she'd already won Traders.
Yeah,
she won first season of Traders, and
I'm not a huge fan of any time where you bring one person in that has a kind of a built-in advantage because of exposure or whatever. So yeah, I loved her on Survivor. She's one of my favorite Survivor players, and I thought she was fun to watch on Traders as well. But yeah, I kind of, if you're gonna have all newbies, I'd rather see all brand new players as opposed to all but one kind of deal.
And I mean, yeah, that was great. They had the twist and everything, but I mean, it should have been something different. Like, I don't know, my daughter said, well, they could do a twist and have like a mother and daughter, like she's talking about her and I, you know. Like,
you never know. I was not a big fan of having people in my season who knew each other, but they didn't ask me. Ray Munoz is saying Jerry and Rennie. She's nominating the two of them. I agree. Rennie was fantastic during her season. Jerry, he was 73 when he was on Big Brother season. Was that 8 or 10? I think he was 10. So we're 15 years later.
Well, he's like the oldest player, isn't he?
Yeah, he was, and he did fantastic, and he could probably still kick half our rear end.
Look at Felicia last season. Felicia did great. I mean, I was afraid she was going to get booted right away. And then,
I was too. And there were some things that she did that made me think, oh, she's really pushing the limits, griping about people not going to bed on time and things with the kitchen and all that. That, oh, you can't say anything that's going to make people mad.
Right.
But it became a bit of her shtick almost that worked to her advantage. So, I loved watching her play the game. I thought they did a great job cast-wise. There are a few twists that I wasn't a huge fan of this last season of Big Brother. But from a casting standpoint, I thought they did a pretty good job. Not as good as when they bring you on, Cyndi, but for what they had, it was pretty good. So, all right, let's see. Well, Chicken George. Yeah, we got a few people blast from the past there. So, yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. JP saying Golden Big Brother in bed by 8. More bingo comps. I did tell the producers when I was there talking to all the big wigs in front of CBS and all that. I said, guys, I'm really hoping that this is going to be the Big Brother geriatric season, because if you bring in a lot of people on walkers and in canes and all that, I'm going to kick their ass. And they all laughed about that and said, yeah, maybe not quite like that, Cliff. I said, yeah, I know better, but
I could just see that if they did like the Golden Big Brother, and we have some kind of competition where we have to use the walkers.
Hey, you never know. I mean, don't underestimate anyone when they're playing that game.
Well, it's funny. I remember a friend of mine posting on my Facebook page for my birthday one year. It was because I'm a fan of The Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah.
And they had, it was a picture of Dale using binoculars, and it had, a ton of walkers, old people walkers.
Oh.
and it said something about, look at all the walkers, or something like that. It was pretty funny. I was like,
I'd forgotten Dale until you mentioned it. So did you watch the new, they premiered the new, The Ones Who Lived, or We're the Ones Who Lived?
I thought that premieres tonight. Somebody told me it premieres tonight.
I think it was last night. That's the one that's got Rick and Michonne.
I haven't seen it yet, but I want to.
I forgot about it until it already played, but I set it up to record.
Yeah, I forgot about it too.
I'm hoping they show a repeat at some point. I watched The Walking Dead all the way to the very end just because I was dedicated, but it wasn't quite the same there at the very end. But
I stopped watching it after Negan killed Glenn.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
You know what bothered me more than him doing that was when they made him almost the hero after a while.
Yeah. Well,
if I'm Maggie, there's no way I'm working with Negan. I don't care what.
And it's funny that I can separate character from actor, because I actually follow him on TikTok.
He's a great actor.
He's always posting. He is always doing live videos. He's got Lucille with him.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And his TikTok name is IB Negan.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Cyndi, I'm sitting here looking at Munoz with all these comments over here about a golden Big Brother. Play the veto by 7 p.m. A popcorn string challenge.
No, see, you and I would probably be the ones up the latest.
Yeah, I stayed up decently late. I just got up earlier than everyone else.
Yeah,
You'd have everyone up at 6:30 or so drinking coffee together, no matter what time they went. They went.
right.
All right, let's see what else we have on here. It's already 7. I knew this was going to happen. It's going to go quick.
And well, I know we were going to talk about horror movies too, because I love horror. I've watched horror movies since I was 11. It was one of those in the Bay Area. It was like Creature Features with Bob Wilkins. You know, the cheesy.
Oh yeah.
The cheesy set and the cigar smoking host and trashing the movies, and that was my first experience. You know, at the babysitters. On Friday and Saturday nights, her little brother wanted to watch it, and so that's how I got started watching.
So, what's your top 1 or 2 horror movies as far as just
An American Werewolf in London?
All right, yeah. Remember you
best transformation scene.
David
Naughton and Griffin Dunn.
Yep.
In fact, last when I went to Chiller in October, I got myself a figure of the werewolf.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah,
3 different faces, and
I remember that. I remember that well. Mine's always going to be Dawn of the Dead, the original George Romero. Scared the heck out of me. All right, moving on from that, I had one question asked at the very first. I kept putting it off. I'll do it real quick. Urban Hermit, if you had to do it over, do you keep Tommy over Holly? At the time, I didn't like the move, but in hindsight, I think it was the right one. All right, Urban. Hindsight being 2020 and all of that. Yeah, I'm curious to see how it would have worked out if I'd done it. But no, I stand by my decision. Tommy was so dangerous in our season. He would have beat any of us in a final 2 jury vote. I just found out the night before that he and Christy knew each other. I knew she'd be pitching for him and with all the jury. I couldn't have him and Mickey both there because that meant that no matter what, Nicole and I would be going against one of them in a final 3 competition. And I just wasn't sure that we could beat either one of them. Our only chance that we felt was to go ahead and get rid of Tommy, hope that Nicole or I could win, get out Mickey, and then we thought we had a chance against Nicole in the final 3. So there you go. I stand by it, but I understand.
I think you made the right choice there.
I think so. Mickey would have been so vindictive. If I'd sent out Holly, he would have booted me just for the heck of me going against him. That's just the way he was. So it was the way it was. All right, let's see. What else do we have on here? And then we're going to probably shut it down. JP is saying, Cyndi, best actor or actress you met at the convention. Do you have?
Oh, wow. At convention or in the movies? Because
either one. Who's your big brush with reality or brush with fame?
At convention, it would have to be Robert Englund.
Oh, Freddy Krueger.
I'm a huge fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street series and Freddy Krueger. And I don't get starstruck, but I was starstruck when I met him.
Was he pretty nice? He strikes me as someone who's probably pretty nice.
He is. And I messaged him before the convention on Facebook, and he messaged me back and told me to watch one of his other movies. Okay. And so when I met him at, I think it was Horror Hound or Days of the Dead, one of those. We were actually volunteering. Me and my friends were volunteering. Oh, you know, JP knows Sandra and Lori, my friend Sandra and Lori. Okay. And I got to volunteer in his room. And so I had got the first photo op I ever got at one of those conventions was his. Oh, and it's cool because he's got the glove. He's wearing the glove with like over my head like this. He's got this wicked look on his face.
Wow.
It gives me nightmares. Look through my Instagram. I think I have the picture posted on my Instagram.
I was going to say, I felt like I'd seen maybe that one once before. So that's cool.
And it was so funny because, when I got to talk to him, I said, I can't afford both the photo op and the autograph. And so he took one of his postcards and autographed it for me. And I told him, I said, I messaged you on Facebook. And you told me to watch Incubus. And he looks at me, he says, oh, that was a nasty movie. I said, I know, I watched it twice. And then as far as like being in the movies, I have to say Robin Williams.
I
worked with him twice. Yeah. And he was one of the most down-to-earth, humble people.
The guy was an artist. It seemed like nice enough, and his improv, his reaction was so quick.
It's funny because he was in Patch Adams and Flubber, and both times on set, a 3-minute scene turned into 10 hours of filming because he ad-libbed every time they shot the scene. And it was so hard not to laugh.
I believe it. Oh, I miss him. He was incredible. I love every one of his movies. All right.
It was so sad when he passed.
Yeah, it was tough. I appreciate and value what you've got while you've got it. All right. And with that being said, Cyndi, we're gonna have to shut it down because it's 8:00. Thank you. I appreciate it. I knew this was gonna be fun. We could have gone on another hour. I'm sure we'll do it again somewhere down the road. I'm gonna do this with a few other folks as well because I like talking. I like getting to know y'all guys a little bit better. And Cyndi, thank you for everything you do. You've been one of my moderators and all, and just a true friend. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. I don't know if my friend showed up, but I did tell one of my coworkers about it tonight, and I sent her the link. And I told Nicole, but it was kind of late, so I don't know if she showed up.
Well, if she didn't catch it, she can watch it on replay.
And that's what I told her.
Especially if she goes out there and subscribes to the channel and turns on notifications and hits the thumbs up.
Yeah, because, I'm friends with her, too.
All right. Bring it on. I would thank you, Cyndi. I appreciate it. With that, I'll shut it down. SKD143. Love my wife. Love my kids. Love all you guys out there, Cyndi. Thank you so much.
SKD143, guys.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Cyndi, have a great rest of the week. All you guys, I'll be back next Monday. We'll talk more. Who knows what we'll talk about? But until next Monday, y'all have a great week. If you're down here in Texas, stay cool. Everywhere else, stay warm. And I'll talk to y'all next week. Cyndi, thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right. Cheers, guys.